Irv Gotti got on Drink Champs once again and talked about something that got a lot of people's attention. And poor Dame Dash, he is once again being disrespected as the years go on. And Jay-Z is hailed as, the winner, the all founder of everything and the greatest, But, I think Jay-Z would admit himself that he wouldn't be able to accomplish everything he's accomplished without a team. So Irv Gotti got on Drink Champs and said that Jay-Z is responsible for Roc-A-Fella's success, and Dame Dash was just along for the ride. So let's play the clip.
Oh, not the book. Did you? The Book of Hove. Are you in that book?
I don't know. I ain't see it.
And well, the famous rumor is that Dame Dash is removed from that book.
Probably. I don't think Jay likes Dame.
Damn, nigga, you can put some salt on it.
What is? Did I say something that people don't know already?
No, but I'm being honest. Because there's so many different stories. The Leah story has just recently circulated or whatever. But I don't want to get on that. I don't think I'm that good of a media guy. But did you ever think that in the beginning when you seen their chemistry? I'm talking about the three. You know what I mean? Because Biggs got he fucks with Drink Champs as well. But Biggs, Dame, and Jay, like when I used to see them, it used to be so tight. I never thought that this would happen. Did you see this day coming?
He would have saw it before anybody.
Yeah.
Back then.
He was in it.
I mean.
Yeah.
Remember what I said? Mm-hmm. Jay didn't need nobody.
Right.
Jay don't need nobody.
Right.
So you really don't think that Dame had anything to do with the success?
You say that?
No, I'm asking. I mean, it's kind of a question.
Right. I remember Dame fighting for the artist. I remember that.
Because regardless of how you feel about the person, you got it. Whatever they did should be credited.
He started Roc-A-Fella with Jay and things, so he should get credited. I'm saying the making of the records
and the studio sessions, Clark Kent was there.
I don't know. What do you want me to say?
He said it. No, he said after they made it, Jay didn't need nobody.
You
didn't say Dame wasn't important.
Jay was picking the beats. Jay was rapping over the beats.
He gave
Jay was making things. It was all Hove.
Right.
They was along for the ride.
Great ride.
It was a great ride.
That's like saying, does Irv need BJ to? No, nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No. It could have been somebody else there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm here. Right. I'm along for the ride.
Right.
But luckily, I'm a loyal motherfucker, and this is my man.
What Irv Gotti is saying here is basically Dame Dash, did what he did on Roc-A-Fella, but Jay-Z made it happen because of the music. Here's where I intervene a little bit. I feel like Dame Dash deserves a little bit more credit. He was for the artist. Who knows? He could have had a lot of the connections made for Jay-Z to be in the position he's at. Not saying that, Jay-Z wouldn't be... First off, we don't even know if Jay-Z would have been Jay-Z without Dame Dash as well. That's another thing. Like, people come into your life for a reason, and yeah, maybe they might not be useful after, 10 years, but in that moment in the beginning, you needed them regardless. So the whole story of Roc-A-Fella and the breakup on that is so interesting that I've been wanting to do a documentary on it for a minute. So I need to, this is intriguing me a little bit more to get into that because, I know bits and pieces of the story. I don't know everything on it. So I'm really curious to based on my research, what I will reveal, because I feel like Dame Dash gets the shitty end of the stick all the time on this. And I can see a little bit why. In a lot of interviews, he kind of gets very defensive, very aggressive. And then, it's harder to deal with people like that versus somebody who can, like Jay-Z, just kind of listen, sit there, and absorb what's going on. I've heard stories that, people didn't do deals because of how hard-headed Dame Dash was and how aggressive he was. And then I've heard stories, of Jay-Z kind of botching some things too. So I think on the business side, obviously, the point of Dame Dash wasn't to be the artist or somebody, in the spotlight. He was going to take care of the business. Jay-Z learned probably a lot from Dame Dash on the business side and said, listen, you are no longer needed for your services. You're hindering more than you're doing. Playing your role is an important thing too, man. I feel like if you feel too big-headed, if you feel like, it's because of me this happened, it can backfire very easily. So, Jay-Z's got a new team now that we don't really hear about that's in the spotlight. Not in the spotlight like that, like Dame Dash was. So that's all it really is. Dame Dash is a lot more in the spotlight. That's why when they split up, it was a lot more, public. And now if Jay-Z split up with one of his business partners, we wouldn't really hear about it because that person's more than likely not in the spotlight. But Jay-Z was going to be Jay-Z after he took off regardless. Jay-Z is somebody who's a very wise person who learns from people's mistakes, who absorbs things. And then as we saw, he still has a career, became a billionaire. Dame Dash is still rich too. Let's not act like Dame Dash is some broke guy who has nothing going on in his life. It's different though. When you split up with somebody like Jay-Z, and if Jay-Z doesn't like you anymore, what's going to happen is with that split up, there's going to be people that join you, and then there's people that are going to be joining Jay-Z. And obviously 90 to 95% probably join Jay-Z and no longer want to do any type of business with Dame Dash. And then there's that 5 to 10% that are like, you know what, I still rock with Dame Dash regardless if Jay-Z likes him or not. So, Irv Gotti, he didn't really say anything too crazy, but he did, based off this interview, what he just said there, it seems like he was saying, hey, Jay-Z was going to blow up regardless because he focused on all the music. He found the beats, found the producers, engineers, all that, wrote the lyrics. Dame Dash just took care of the business side of things, and Jay-Z can replace that business side at any time he wants to, which is true. But I feel like in the beginning, had Dame Dash not been there, who knows where Jay-Z would have been. Because in the beginning, Jay-Z needed a lot of people, as you always do in the beginning. It's unfortunate, the whole fallout, man. It would be amazing to see them kind of, get together. But Jay-Z's not that type of person. Once he kind of moves on from you, it's over. So shout out to Irv Gotti, though. In this interview, he looks very, very slim, like he slimmed down. He got a lot more fit, because he looks a lot more slimmer. So shout out to him, man. He's looking great, better than what he used to look like, a little bit chubbier. Now he's slimmed down, great look. He did that huge deal where he sold some of his catalog for like $50 million. I'm sure that helped him out with the slimming down. But yeah, I can see where Irv Gotti's coming from this. But Dame Dash, I feel sorry for him, man. He gets shitted on a lot, and he always, every time in interviews, he always gets asked about Jay-Z and Roc-A-Fella, and he just says, "Stop asking me, ask him." But Jay-Z never does interviews, so it's like Jay-Z. That's the sign of who won in something, or who is the bigger person in something. For example, I'm going to go back to 50, like I always do. 50 and Ja Rule. When Ja Rule does interviews, they ask him about 50. When 50 Cent does interviews, they rarely ever ask him about Ja Rule because 50's kind of taken a whole different level. Ja Rule's been stuck at where he's been stuck at since the whole battle. So that's really the sign of if an artist is really successful is that, or has moved on from the major thing in their career. Because Dame Dash, has not been able to escape those Roc-A-Fella questions, those Jay-Z questions. Damn near every single interview, they ask him about it. And he gets more and more aggressive with his responses, saying, "Stop fucking asking me, ask Jay-Z, or else I'm not doing the interview," so on and so forth. But Jay-Z never gets asked about Dame Dash. If Jay-Z ever does an interview, which he hasn't done an interview in quite some time. So if he ever does one, though, they're not going to ask him about Dame Dash. He's got so much other things going on in his life that, the Dame Dash story is like a little flash in the pan for him. He's got so much in his career. So, overall, man, it sucks to see so many of these legendary labels and groups just break up. I wish more of these groups would just stay together, man. It's just money gets involved, lots of egos. But I understand, man, once you get to a certain level, it feels like some people feel like, oh, it happened because of me. When in reality, you need to remember who's the head of the spear, who's the one that is, in the limelight, who's making things happen. That's, and you need to play a role, man. Like Yayo says, not everybody can be 50, Diddy, Jay-Z, Kanye, and all these superstars. Not everybody can be that. There's one of that, and there's 100,000 of different people or lesser than that, in terms of like star status. So play your role, do your thing, and you'll eat forever. That's a perfect example of Memphis Bleek and Jay-Z, Tony Yayo and 50. Yayo still eats off of, 50. He's touring right now with him. just play your role, man. You're not meant to. If you're blessed with millions of dollars, you're blessed, man. Regardless, I personally I don't have a problem playing my role, as long as we're all winning. As long as I'm getting my fair shake. That's the thing though. Like if you're doing a contract and you say you're going to give me this amount or this percentage, honor that. That's where then I can see the fallouts happening, because as a man, you have to honor your contracts. That's the only time I could see a fallout happening. But if me personally, I would never fall out with somebody because they're the number one. That's their role. That's what in this moment, that's what they're supposed to be. And who knows, man, you could have your own shine where you become big as well. And my point in all this is that there's enough to eat for everybody. I don't know why people have this kind of like hoarding mentality where it's like, yo, only I should have an audience. Only I should get views. Only me. I think it's stupid. It just goes against the potential greatness of things that could happen with collaborations and all this type of stuff. Even me, I'm doing more collaborations with people. I'm trying to do more projects with other YouTubers, other stuff, and you guys are going to see that in the future. We're lining things up. What Irv Gotti said makes total sense. And, if I got Dame Dash on here, I definitely would want to move on from the questions. And I feel bad for Dame Dash constantly getting asked those questions. And hopefully Jay-Z and Dame Dash cure whatever they got going on.